hand over your heart. And ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all. And ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Is there a?
Yeah, there was an echo. Yeah.
Okay.
Our
God.
voices were lagging.
Okay. I thought for a minute I was like going cuckoo. I've been out in the sun all day at Oak, so my brain is fried. Everything is fried.
Oh.
Okay, and there doesn't seem to be anybody here to address the Personnel Commission. Okay. I don't see anybody. Correct, Juris?
Yes, that's correct. We don't have anyone.
Moving on to item number 4, approval of minutes. Ladies, did you take a look at both of the minutes for the regular meeting and the special meeting?
Yes, I did.
Okay, can I get a motion and a second, please, to approve both meetings?
I move we accept the meeting or approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 16th and the special meeting of July 27th.
Second.
Thank you very much. Did you ladies have any discussion or see any discrepancy with the meeting minutes?
No.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. Anne, are you a yes?
Yes.
Gina?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. So the motion carries 3-0. And we'll approve the meeting minutes for special meeting. Can I get a motion in a second, please?
That one I can't do. I was not there.
Right. That? That's right. And you were not there.
Oh, okay, then I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of July 27 for the special meeting.
And I'll second that. Gina, did you see any discrepancies or anything?
No, I did not.
Any discussion on that?
No.
Okay. And are you in favor of approving?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. So the motion carries 2-0. Moving on to item number 5, ratifying the eligibility list for library media assistant for June 24th, 2021. Can I get a motion and a second, please?
I move we ratify the eligibility list for library media assistant dated June 24th, 2021.
Second.
Okay, Anne made the motion and Gina seconded. Any discussion on this, ladies?
No.
Where was this for?
This is at Longden, and it's to replace a resignation from Ramon Gonzalez.
Oh, okay.
All right, I will call, since there's no discussion, I will call for the vote. Gina?
Yes.
Anne?
Yes.
And I'm a yes, so it's 3-0. Motion carries. Moving on, ratifying the eligibility list for noon duty aid. Can I get a motion and a second for that one, please?
I make a motion to approve the eligibility list for the noon duty aid dated August 3rd, 2021.
I second.
Gina made the motion and Anne seconded. Any discussion on this one, ladies?
No.
For the noon duty aid, it's just going to be for lunchtime, correct?
Yes.
What are the hours for that? Is it just like 12 to 1 or something?
The FTE is 13.75 hours a week,
Okay.
and it covers the AM recess and the lunchtime.
Oh, both the recess and the lunch. Okay. Any other concerns, ladies?
No.
I'll call for the vote. Anne?
Yes.
Gina?
Yes.
And that's a yes for me. Motion carries 3-0. Next is ratifying the eligibility list for paraprofessional PE. Can I get a motion in a second, please?
I move we accept the eligibility list for paraprofessional PE dated August 3rd, 2021.
Second.
And that is a motion from Anne and a second from Gina. Any discussion or concerns, ladies?
Now, is this also replacing someone that was the paraprofessional PE?
That's
Yes, this
Okay.
is a resignation
yeah,
Oh,
at
okay.
London.
at London.
At Longden, okay. Thank you.
It's really hard to keep those PE
Yes.
paraprofessionals.
Mm.
The hours are very odd.
Yes.
Yeah, and not only that, to hire, we've flown this for a while and we had to refly it. We only got one applicant, and thank God she passed the test because it's such a hard position to fill.
Yeah, we've always had problems with this one.
Mhm.
I'll call for the vote. Gina,
Yes.
Anne,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Motion carries 3-0. Ratifying the eligibility list for Office Assistant 1. Can I get a motion in a second,
Is
please?
it one? Offices, because it doesn't say one on the agenda.
Yes, it is.
But it does if you scroll down to where it says the eligibility list. It says
Oh,
Office Assistant 1.
Yeah, it's Office Assistant 1, not the number of people. Down below is the list of people.
Mhm.
And there are
Oh.
actually 7 people that applied.
Okay, because I only printed the agenda. I don't have
I
the
see.
attachments.
Yes, Gina.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
there's 49 pages.
right. I
Yeah,
know.
You
I'm
know
so
what?
sorry
I
about
leave it-
that. I know.
I leave it
okay.
open on the computer on the side, so I read it as we go down. I don't
Right.
print 50 pages.
I
Yeah.
do too,
Waste
Gina.
of paper. And then I keep it in a file on the computer.
Mhm.
Right.
Yes. And ladies, at any time you need to pick up a printed one, we're here in the office. We're more
I
than
know,
willing to
I
get
know.
out.
But this actually works pretty well because it's very seldom that I have to, and I can make notes on the side if I need to. So.
All right.
You're
Can I get
ahead of me, Ann.
Can I get a motion and a second to
Yeah,
ratify
I
the
move we
eligibility list?
ratify the eligibility list for Office Assistant 1 dated August 4th, 2021.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
No.
And this is just an eligibility list, so we haven't placed a lot of these people, or have we only placed
Yeah,
Jennifer Clare?
Actually, we do have one opening, and we have hired the rank 2 person. We've offered. She was selected for the position. This is, by the way, to replace Catherine Bradley at Oak, because we reclassed her to an Office Assistant 2 position, and that so this is for the Oak. And yes, we have selected Monica Gracely for the position.
Okay,
She was offered the position.
thank you.
So is Catherine, is she going to be staying there with her promotion at Oak?
Yes,
Mhm.
she is staying
Okay.
there at Oak.
Thank you.
Mhm.
If there's no other discussion, I'll call for the vote. Anne,
Yes,
Gina,
Yes.
and that's a yes for me. Motion carries 3-0. Okay, moving on to item number 6. Approval of the personnel order number 2021-20. Can I get a motion and approval, please?
I make a motion to approve Personnel Order 2021-20 dated June 23rd, 2021.
second,
There's been a motion from Gina and a second from Anne. Any discussion, ladies?
No.
no, actually.
Oh, I have one question. I do have one question on that. On the extra, the error with that was displayed for the overtime pay, overnight security,
Yes.
is the amount of 2685 less than what they got paid or more than they should have got paid?
It's less than. So the 2685 is, I believe, the non-PERS hourly rate.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and then the corrected is 2736, which is the
Okay,
PERS.
great. Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. Anne,
Yes,
Gina,
Yes.
and a yes for me. So the motion carries 3-0. Approval of personnel order number 2021-21. A motion and a second, please.
I move that we accept personnel order number 2021-21 dated June 26, 2021.
Second?
Any comments or discussion?
Not on that one.
I didn't have any on this either.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. Gina,
Yes.
Anne,
Yes.
and a yes for me. Motion carries 3-0. Approval of personal order number 2122-01. A motion and a second, please.
I move we accept classified personnel order 2122-01.
Second?
A motion from Anne and a second from Gina. Any discussion or concerns, ladies?
No.
No, I didn't see anything when I went through it.
Didn't either. Okay, I'll call for the vote. Gina,
Yes.
Anne,
Yes.
and that's a yes from me. So motion carries 3-0. Moving on to item number 7, business matters. The reclassification from skilled maintenance worker 1 to skilled maintenance worker 2. Can I get a motion and a second?
I move we reclassify from skilled maintenance worker 1 to skilled maintenance worker 2. However, I see no name attached to it there, so.
Yeah, I think Juris is going to speak on this, or
Yeah.
Dr. K.
I second this.
Juris, did you want to speak about this?
Yes. So Casey Chamber, and it's on the second page, will be the next to the page. So the incumbent is Mr. Casey Chambers. So request was made by both the incumbent and the supervisor of maintenance and operations, Mr. Anthony Salazar. And so a study was conducted. So Mr. Chambers was hired 2 years ago, and there was an accretion of duties. So the main difference between the two job classification, the skilled maintenance worker 1 and 2, are the number of skills required for the job. So skilled maintenance worker 1, you need to have at least 1 skill. Skilled maintenance worker 2, it requires at least 2 skills. So Mr. Chambers has been exhibiting efficiency on the 2 skills, and not only that, he has led several projects for the MNO, and it's not only leading the people, it's also leading the project in the sense that he's going to start and complete the project. So it was supported by his supervisor, and at the same time, I also interviewed 2 of his coworkers, and they both supported the reclass. I've also consulted with the union leadership because, you know, when we do reclasses, you have to do the study and make sure there are no surprises. And so I am recommending for a reclass for Mr. Chambers from skilled maintenance worker 1 to skilled maintenance worker 2.
Thank you, Juris.
Yes.
Ladies, did you have any questions for Juris?
No, thank you.
And
No.
all right, I'll call for the vote. Gina,
Yes.
Anne,
Yes.
and it's a yes from me. Motion carries 3-0. Any report? I'm not moving on to item number 8, report from the director.
All right. Okay. Well, hello, ladies. Let me start by saying I would like to extend a warm welcome to our new assistant superintendent, Dr. Tamar Kataroyan.
Yay!
So we are so excited and we are so happy to have Dr. K, I call her Dr. K, to help us and be with us in the team. You know, this month we've been so busy. The personal department has been busy filling all the vacancies, going through, getting ready for the new school year. We've just, as you can see from our consent, like the agenda, it's a pretty big one because we just finished our summer school too. So that was big for us too. We had to not only set up all the summer assignments in HRS, but at the same time, we're also doing several, reports and making sure all the employees are, all the needs of the employees were, all the requests that they need, we're fulfilling. So it's just been a very busy time, and we're really happy to have Dr. K with us. With that said, I'm also, before I move on, I just wanted to have Isaac, our personal tech, give us like a hiring report. And so you can see what we're actually doing as far as hiring.
Okay, so we do have a lot of things going on, as Jer stated. To start with some that we already discussed, the Office Assistant 1, we're in the process of just scheduling the start date for the selected candidate. And we also have a vacancy for LVN at Longden. That one, actually, we did have to extend the closing date because that's one of the positions that's harder to fill. So it's currently flying on EdJoin until filled. Another one that we already discussed is the noon duty aide, and those are in the process of the reference process. We have several paraprofessional childcare 1 positions through the ELP program. One of them is for Cloverly, and that one we are currently screening 3 applicants. The other 3 vacancies are for La Rosa, Emperor, and Longden, and those are currently flying as transfers. That transfer, or the deadline for the transfer application is this Friday, August 20th. As we also stated, we have the paraprofessional PE, which is also in the reference process. We have a vacancy for paraprofessionals, and that's going to be just general. So that's being flown both as a transfer and on EdJoin, and the application deadline is August 31st for that, and that's to fill various vacancies throughout the district. We also have a PIO webmaster position that the posting deadline for EdJoin was August 12th. And so we are in the process of screening the applicants. I believe there was 1 applicant for that. We're in the process of screening them. We also have the vacancy for Executive Assistant 1 with Ed Services. That's currently flying on EdJoin. Oh, that is dual.
Yeah,
right?
it's
That's
split assignment.
split assignment, right? So then that's flying on EdJoin, and that closes on Thursday, August 19th. A couple more. We have the Office Assistant 2 position at Temple City High School. That's currently flying as a transfer, and that application will close on August 27th. And we have a Brailleist position for Temple City High School. That application is closed, so we are currently in the applicant screening process. And one more, we have a grounds maintenance worker position that is currently flying as a transfer, closing on August 22nd. I'm sorry, August 27th. And that is, those are the vacancies that we currently have, and I'm sure we have more to come in the near future.
we keep Isaac busy, and on the other side of that too is we're also busy filling certificated vacancies. We have several. Well, we have been filling administrator positions and teacher positions, and we're going to have virtual academy. So there's so many things going on in personnel department. But thank you, Isaac, for that. I'm going to move on.
I have one question.
Sure.
Are you finding that you are having to hire more for substitute teachers?
So substitute teachers, I have to say, I'm very happy to share with you that we never had any problems with sub teachers.
Great.
We always, I think it has something to do because we compensate our subs really well. The only time we have, we have a need, and this is not only for subs, but it's special ed. When we hire special ed teachers and also subs, it's such a, we have a shortage on special ed teachers. So, but on regular sub gen ed or other, single subject sub teachers, we're good.
Great. Good to know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to move on to the next one that I have on my report is we have our meeting dates for the future for personal
Oh.
commission meetings, and we're trying to just organize everything so we can post it on our website. And the one thing I wanted to bring up is one of the meeting dates is December 21st, and that falls like on that week where most of our staff are on vacation. So I was going to ask the commission if we can, consider changing that date from December 21st through to December 14th, which is the week prior to that date, so that, we're all here and we can make sure most of the staff can attend. So
I prefer that as well.
That's a yes for me, Doris.
Yeah.
perfect.
Me too.
All right, we'll make sure to make that change. And then, okay, next on my report is the commissioner's joint appointment. So Ms. Maria Garner's appointment will expire December 1st of this year. And so per personal commission rules, the CSCA appointee and the board appointee must publicly announce their joint appointee by September 30th of this year. So I would say on our next meeting, you have time from now to the next meeting to decide or to announce who you're going to appoint or reappoint.
Okay.
And yeah, so do you have any questions on that, ladies? On the commissioner's appointment?
I do not.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
And that's it for my report, and I'm going to give it to Dr. K.
All right. First off, thank you so much for the warm welcome. I really, really do appreciate it. And I am so excited to be in this role. So thank you. I want to give a huge shout out to our personnel department who, as you know, there's been so much going on right now behind the scenes. It is the busiest time of the year, but behind the scenes, all the magic happens at the wee hours of the day. So they have been working tirelessly to make sure that we have all of our staff in place and follow the process so that we have everyone ready to go for the start of the school year. And that has been no small task, especially this year. So a huge shout out to them
Yes.
on that one.
Yay.
An update on the benefits. So as you are aware, there was a committee put in place. There was a lot of different things that was happening for a while now. I mean, for a while now. We're getting to the end point where now we're looking to decide whether we're going to switch over to VIVA or we're going to continue on with CalPERS. Our 3 unions recently just voted. And the way the numbers are coming right now, it's looking as though we're going to stay with CalPERS.
Oh.
There are still some final steps that we have to meet and talk through to make that final decision. But that's as of now, the numbers are in, everybody has voted through their unions. And that's the direction it seems as though it's going to go. And then after that is when more magic has to start behind the scenes because there is open enrollment coming and the many steps involved with that. The next thing we're so excited for is our welcome back kickoff on August 23rd. I wanted to invite all of you as well. It's at our high school at the lunch shelter, and it starts at 8 o'clock. We have breakfast, and then we have our kickoff. It's from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We are more than happy to send you the letter that Dr. Fricker sent out, so we can email that to you if you like, but pretty much the information is the 23rd at the high school from 8 to 10, and we would love to see you guys there.
Thank you. Is that the first day of school?
That is the first day employees get back. The first day of school is the 25th.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And where's that going to be?
At the high school lunch
high school.
shelter.
Lunch shelter. Yep.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Absolutely. So we also had our leadership retreat last week. We kicked off, and the leadership retreat includes all site administrators. And that went really, really well. It was very successful. We were able to celebrate our administrators for the hard work they had been doing, they had done last year, and over the summer, there's been so much that's happening. So we kicked it off with a wonderful leadership retreat. And then that will lead us to our new teacher orientation. With all this hiring, the next step is we want to also welcome and make sure that they have that warm handoff to their site. So our new teacher orientation right now is scheduled for the 20th. We also have a secondary one because with enrollment, I'm sorry, with hiring, it sometimes takes a few extra steps and then it's based on things clearing and whatnot. So sometimes employees trickle in a little bit after that 20th. So we are going to reevaluate that date. There is a slight chance that we may actually push it back and combine it with the second date that we had, which was our makeup orientation. So as soon as we know that information, that will go out to all employees so that they're aware as well. And I believe that's all the updates from my end.
Thank you so much, Dr. K.
You're
I
welcome.
have a question.
Ladies, did you have any questions?
Dr. K, you mentioned that you were looking at possibly not being with CalPERS anymore for insurance purpose benefits. And that's because I believe the rates are going to be going up.
Yes.
And I'm so in agreement that we should look otherwise because benefits are outrageous these days. And for it to go even more, that would be, that's almost like like a fourth of your paycheck if you have other members of your family that you have to cover, you know.
But you kind of indicated that you think they're going to stay with PERS.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what the numbers are showing thus far.
I'd like to share that, and this doesn't have anything to do with the active members, but I have long-term care with PERS, and that is going to increase 90% in like 2 years, and it's already increased a ton. What they are offering is, and I have never heard of an insurance program doing this, all of our money that we have put in since our inception with them back.
What?
And, I've talked to 2 friends of mine, and I think we're all going to do that. So I think that long-term care program with PERS is going to crash, and I think they're in deep trouble right now.
Yeah, I mean, the rates, it's ridiculously high. I mean, and they consolidated some PPO plans, and if you're at the lowest tier of that PPO, it's almost like a 25% increase.
Yeah.
But
It's
that's
crazy.
PERS. Yeah.
So why is it that they want to stick with CalPERS if it's so ridiculously high?
I mean, I would assume with many things, change is very difficult.
Yeah.
So when change is difficult, it really takes a lot of baby steps to get there. And at the end of the day, from the district's point of stand view, we wanted to just make sure that like we are doing this to propose different options, but we are in favor of whatever our unions decide. So whatever that they want to go with, we will just make sure that we provide the tools, remove the obstacles from them, and we go with that. And that has been very transparent across the board. Even the communication that was coming from VIVA, that was all getting pushed out to our employees through our union leaders. And we did that to make sure they know everything's out on the table, because this is a big step. It's a personal thing, and we wanted the voice of our members to be heard. And it does seem as though we're going to stay with CalPERS.
Yeah, I was president of 105. This was years ago when we changed, when originally the teachers went with PERS and left Blue Cross. 105 did not leave Blue Cross. And the reason was because so many of and it was mostly women, did not want to change their benefits because of the fact that they were the primary benefit holders for their family. And there were many people in the family that had pre-existing conditions, and they were afraid to change their coverage. What we did, and what I think is so important, we took a male vote from every single member of the team, or every member of the union. I wanted it in writing that everybody had agreed. I didn't want there to be any question. And I think that's a super important thing to do when you're dealing with such a vital piece of information for people. You've got to be able to go back to that and say, this is exactly what was decided. Because people are going to be angry, and there's nothing you can do, but they need to have that opportunity.
Dr. K, have they been given the rates for another company or another organization? Have they compared prices and benefits?
Yes, so basically we hired a company that did pretty much that background work for us.
Okay.
So what they do is they're not biased. They are for us. They work for the district. And so they do that background information for us. and then present to us options that seem basically comparable and or better than the current one that we have. And that's the one that was presented. And I believe with Viva, it was overwhelming with the unions. Everybody agreed and they wanted that one to be the one that we compared it to, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Then why do you think they're staying with PERS?
I think once it gets down to it, you then really, initially you're getting all the surface level data and all the numbers, right? And then you crunch down to specifics and how it impacts each person. So the plan may seem great overall, but then you look at some of the specifics and you're like, wait, that's going to impact me by a lot, and this is how. And then again, when it takes a lot to make a change happen, in the sense of like, there's that fear factor, right? And one of the things with CalPERS that I really believe that was one of the hindering factors was, once you change, you cannot go back for 5 years. And in knowing that, that creates a lot of hesitancy. And there's a reason they put that in place. You know, when you become a powerhouse, you get to rule things the way you want to. And that was one of the things that they've implemented. And so many districts are like, 5 years is a long time for us to be able to go back.
You know, when there's such a strict rule that you can't go back, it's going to take a year before people are willing to change. And what people will do this year is look at what they've got and look at what they might have and realize that going back is probably not going to be necessary. So it takes a while to make those decisions. You know, it's not easy.
Well, they might wait till they see the new rates that come in, and it's
For sure.
But it's not just all based on money.
Then they're going to go,
employees.
Yeah.
It's not just based on money. It depends on who the doctors are, and
that's true.
It's what kind of coverage you have. It depends on a lot of things, and so it's going to take them a while to decide.
And what we did too is to ensure that everyone, you know, we make an informed decision, is we set up like a Q&A session with, you know, the vendor and our staff. So that was out there, just to make sure we make an informed decision.
That's great.
That was great. That was a good thing, a good decision to do.
Yeah. So,
you have to be backed up in case they come at you saying, well, why did you not tell us to move over, or why did we stay with them? You have to be backed up.
Yes. And for the personnel department side of it, is because we have to set up, if we are, whether or not we're staying with CalPERS or moving away from CalPERS, we still have to do the work of setting up open enrollment, because all the new rates, all the new plans, they're going to kick in effective January 1st of 2022. And so we usually have like 2 months during summer to set it up, but now we're like down to like 2 weeks. So, and this is happening while we're hiring, and, you know, it's just, it gets a little bit overwhelming, but I know we can do it day to day, and we'll make it work.
Right.
Thank you very much for that report. Item number 9, matters from the commission. Anything else?
My question was answered, so I'm fine.
I just want to thank you all for everything that you do. Isaac, Lucy, Juris, Dr. K. I know it's just overwhelming and so much work, and we all thank you for everything that you do. Truly. I do have one question that I don't think pertains to anything about the personnel, but I had some parents ask me about the virtual academy versus in-person, and I wanted to know if you knew anything. If they chose the virtual academy, would they be able to switch over to the in-person at all, and vice versa during the school year?
Yes. So some districts around, although technically they're not allowed to do this from the mandate that was pushed out, some local districts have said if you're joining the virtual academy, you have to commit to a semester. However, the mandate that was pushed out was 5 days. So within 5 days, if a parent requests to come back, within 5 days, we would be able to move them. We have offered that flexibility to our families, because we basically want to serve them and do what's best for their students. So in doing that, yes, it is extremely difficult with those moves, because all of those moves impact staffing, and it impacts numbers. So we have been in the gray area right now in the last 2 weeks of that. COVID numbers are going up, so you're seeing a huge fluctuation go to virtual. Then 2 days later, parents are pulling out and now they want to go back to Gen Ed. So it's really been rocking our numbers in that sense. However, we're still planning based on making sure that we have cushioned some of those classes. So we have some space that when kids do want to come back, we have space in those classes for them to come back. But yes, to answer that question, they have 5 days and they can come back.
So 5 days from the start of school, from the first day of school?
No, 5,
Their
anytime.
first day.
Anytime. So if they're in the virtual academy and let's say they decide in October, you know what, I want to go back, within 5 days they can be moved back.
Oh, I see
Oh,
what you're saying.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Oh,
So within
anytime-
5 days of the request, within 5 days of the request.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
I
That
thought
gives
you
you
meant
time to
once
plan
they
that.
started, they had 5 days to change their mind. If not, they needed to wait till the end of the semester.
No, I think this makes a lot more sense that it gives you 5 days to figure out how you're going to put them in there,
Mhm.
but it's a good, and I think
Oh,
it's a good way
okay.
to do it.
Do we have a large number of parents wanting virtual?
So really it's been changing a lot.
Yeah.
Just daily?
Last it was about like 350, but that
Wow.
number honestly changes like within a few hours. It can fluctuate by 20, 25, 30. It really depends. One of the days there was something that went out on the news and all of a sudden the numbers just
Yeah.
elevated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now they're balancing out again. So we've really been in that limbo of like trying to work on our class rosters, trying to work on our
It's
numbers.
really
but
scary. You know, it's a
Yeah, it is.
difficult decision for a parent to make with a young child.
Yeah.
So there has been things floating around of other districts having minor, small breakouts of COVID. What are our policies concerning if there are breakouts in our schools? Will we shut down just a portion or quarantine just a classroom if that happens, or a whole school, or?
So Maria, that's hard to answer in a general scope because it really depends on the specifics of it. Of course, contact tracing is going to be huge. Now, mandates just got pushed out by Governor Newsom not too long ago. So Mari Montgomery, our Director of Risk Management, she's put together an entire like step-by-step for our principals that was handed out. And basically, once we're notified, there's multiple steps that we have to go through. And it really then depends on the contact tracing.
Okay.
Because now there's like vaccinations that are coming into place where we get to be notified when someone is vaccinated. When they're vaccinated, then it eliminates some of those steps. So it really depends on the situation. And once we get that information, then you're following a step-by-step procedure to then determine, are we shutting down the site? Has that trickled over to other sites? Are there family members in other sites? If there are, now you're contact tracing there. So it is a multi-step process, and it's one that we just take case by case. And again, when somebody has been tested positive for COVID, all of those are confidential. So we really have this one point of contact for that because we want to keep that information extremely tight.
Right.
Yeah, but yes, to answer your question, local districts, as well as others that have already begun, whether it's their staff has come back or the classes have, or schools have started, there have been breakouts and they're in that limbo as well of, do we shut down today? So they're in union discussions as well. So it's back
Right.
to the gray area of we just adjust and we do our best and we move forward with whatever info we get.
Do you know if the district is going to put out COVID testing like maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks at a site?
So again, that is all being implemented through our Director of Risk Management and our RN and our LVNs. So yes, we will have access to COVID tests. All of that information is all going to get pushed out to sites. But yes, to answer your question, we do have that option.
Thank you so much, Dr. K.
Yes.
Any other matters, ladies?
No, not that I can think of right now.
Jurors, I don't think we have any closed session, correct?
We don't have any closed session items today.
Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn, please? In a second.
I
Make a
move
motion
adjourn.
to adjourn our meeting at 4:45 p.m.
Second.
Okay, ladies. Thank you very much. Motion
Thank
carries.
you, jurors, Lucy.